We are honoring Hispanic Heritage Month. It's a time of year to recognize the contributions of Hispanic Americans, past and present. This month-long recognition is so important, not just here in our city, but also around the nation. Audrey Castoreno explains.
September 15th is the first day of Hispanic Heritage Month. It's a time to celebrate the history, culture, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. The remembrance has not always been a month-long observation. It actually began in 1968 when President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the National Hispanic Heritage Week bill into law. Representative Esteban Torres of California proposed a bill to expand the observance, saying more time was needed to properly observe Hispanic culture and achievement. In 1988, the month-long observance was signed into law by President Ronald Reagan. President George H.W. Bush became the first president to declare the 31-day period beginning on September 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month. September 15 is significant because it is the anniversary of independence for Latin American countries such as Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Mexico also celebrates its independence on September 16th or Día 16, followed by Chile on September 18th. Throughout the month, KENS 5 will share stories of National Hispanic Heritage Month. You'll hear stories of the people, places, and events that make the Hispanic heritage so important to not only San Antonio, but the entire nation.
Many consider them the big three of the Alamo: Jim Bowie, William B. Travis, and Davy Crockett. But fighting alongside them during the battle were nearly 200 more men. We bring you a story many of us don't learn about the Battle of the Alamo. Two brothers who fought against each other. One was loyal to the Mexican army, the other joined the Alamo defenders. Here is more on a family torn apart by war.
Hi. Thank you for coming to see this display. This is Phil Collins here.
On a wall overlooking a Battle of the Alamo diorama.
Remember the Alamo.
Visitors are greeted by a few new faces.
It has only been recently that the Tejanos have been recognized.
Using 50 photos of descendants as a reference, the artist depicted what certain Alamo defenders who we've never seen may have looked like.
We knew he was important.
With the last defenders killed.
In the center is 34-year-old Gregorio Esparza.
Very proud.
Yeah, very.
Peggy Huizar Guerrero and Erlinda Huizar are his great-great-great-granddaughters.
We want everybody to know there's other heroes that need to be spoken about.
Gregorio's picture hangs in the Ralston Family Collection Center, one of the newest additions to the Alamo grounds. Born February 25, 1802 in San Antonio de Béjar, Gregorio Esparza lived a modest life as a farmer and father of four. As a Federalist, Gregorio grew allegiances with his neighbors in rebellion. His brother Francisco was a centralist who remained loyal to the Mexican government. They're the only family members experts know of who fought on opposing sides during the Texas Revolution.
And it's really sad, right?
Ernesto Rodriguez, senior curator, historian, and lecturer of the Alamo, is putting together a more complete narrative of the complicated conflict.
So people can understand that this isn't just black and white. A family is torn apart by war, and it's not only torn apart by the violence of the war, but by the whole concept of what side are you on.
December 1835, the Esparza brothers fought each other in the Battle of Béjar and survived.
And this is at the back of the complex.
3 months later, in the early hours of March 6, 1836, Gregorio was manning the cannons at the back of the Alamo.
He's still on the back wall. The screams of war reach him.
Mexican soldiers under General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna attacked the Alamo from different directions.
Hundreds of guys with lances running in, and they're just poking at anything that moves. It's dark, it's nighttime, there's smoke everywhere from the musket fire and the cannon fire.
Gregorio's family hid inside the church sacristy, their lives spared by the Mexican army.
They see who's in there and they yell out, "Son inocentes." They are innocent.
Gregorio's son Enrique was 8 years old. Years later, he described the horrors of the violence to a San Antonio newspaper.
And they asked him, "Do you remember the battle?" He said it is indelibly seared on his mind. Of course. He heard his father's cries for help, his father's cries as he was dying. It's something you never forget.
Francisco didn't fight in the Battle of the Alamo. He was a reservist at the time. When he learned all the defenders perished, he went to his leader for a favor.
Francisco went to Santa Ana, asked for his body, and Santa Ana granted it. He was able to take Gregorio's body and bury it, give it a Christian burial.
And he's the only Alamo defender to have a Christian burial.
Because it had not been for Francisco, Gregorio would have been burned with the other Texans.
For Peggy and Erlinda, their Alamo connection carries great responsibility. It also comes with great respect.
They're even speaking about the Alamo there in D.C. That's wonderful.
Through December 5th, the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Latino has their grandmother's shawl on display. Next, the family will donate it to the Alamo to be placed alongside their grandmother's wedding dress inside the Ralston Family Collection Center.
We make sure that you remember the Esparza family.
You know the Alamo and the missions, but have you ever paid a visit to Casa Navarro? Audrey Castoreno has more on this Texas historical site whose story is being moved forward thanks much in part to descendants who are still in San Antonio today.
If you blink, you'll miss this Texas historical site.
Well, it has a very interesting history that many people don't know about.
Casa Navarro, an 1800s adobe-style home nestled between downtown buildings and construction, has survived the evolution of our city.
Luckily, Casa Navarro received historical designations that prevent the demolition of this site, unlike the rest of the Ladrito neighborhood.
But its history and that of its owner, merchant and Texas patriot Jose Antonio Navarro, are what make this Texas historical site so special.
He was a representative of San Antonio de Bexar for much of his life.
One of two Tejanos to sign the Texas Declaration of Independence, Navarro fought with his pen in this landscape that was rapidly changing.
One of his main efforts was to ensure that the Tejano people had the right to vote when becoming a part of the Texas Republic and later the United States.
His writings helping us to understand the unique perspective of Tejanos during this time in history.
He wrote about the Battle of the Medina. He wrote about what was happening after the Alamo. These all coming from the Tejano perspective. So it's very unique in its own right.
This written history surviving much and thanks to Navarro's descendants.
We were little girls and my grandmother would bring us and she said, this is the home of, it would be her great-grandfather. My grandmother was so proud that she was a Navarro, and that's in my heart. And I remember being out in the courtyard with my mother and my grandmother and my siblings.
Sandy Salinas and her son Troy, descendants and members of the Friends of Navarro group, who have been dedicated to not only keeping Navarro's name alive, but also ensuring he's mentioned in the history books.
You'll see the exhibits that are designed to bring those children that are studying Texas history, to bring them to the house to learn about the Tejano portion of it, the Hispanic influence. For many years was lost in the textbooks. And so I think that's what we just gotta be out there more, telling those stories, educating people about the beauty of the house and the history of Navarro and all those people that fought for what we live today in Texas.
Audrey Castoreno, KENS 5.
Conjunto music, a blend of European influence and Mexican heritage, a rich musical tradition with ties to San Antonio. Roma Villavicencio takes us inside a West Side record shop that helped mold local legends.
These are the lyrics that resonate with so many South Texans. ¿Cómo le haré? How will I do it? Famous words sung by Grammy Award-winning the late Emilio Navaira. How did he do it? Well, It starts with his voice and strums down to the instruments.
Conjunto music specifically has been known as a genre of the working class. Also, cantina music, right? Just like here at Bosnians, where we're at today.
A genre that dates back to the 1920s.
Conjunto is one of the earliest forms of this Tex-Mex Tejano music, as we know with the accordion.
30-year-old Aaron Salinas is an accordion instructor by passion and an IT professional by day. He's been living and breathing Conjunto music since he found his grandfather's accordion when he was 6 years old.
The name of it itself, Conjunto, together. It is a blending of different genres and different cultures from all over the world, really. The accordion, which is one half of what the real basic Conjunto is, comes from Europe.
That German influence runs deep in San Antonio. Just take a drive down Old Highway 90. You'll find Del Bravo Record Shop, opened in 1969 by Diamantina and Salome Gutierrez.
He opened the store for the love of music.
Irma Gutierrez is one of 8 brothers and sisters. She is continuing her father's immense legacy, sharing her own experiences as a child, having watched upcoming Conjunto artists become stars, all thanks to her father.
He was an engineer, and then one day he opens his own recording studio. It's called DLB Records, which is Del Bravo. So he starts recording every night. Flaco Jimenez would come by, Lidia Mendoza, Valerio Longoria, Manuel Guerrero, Irene Fidel, Georgie Mague, the pioneers of Conjunto music in San Antonio.
Decades later, these artists continue to inspire musicians like Aaron and his bandmates Luke, Jaime, and Mike Aguilar. Yes, grandson and nephew of the famous Los Aguilares.
They founded that band in 1960, but started playing since the 50s. And they have a crazy repertoire of albums and music that has resonated with Texas and Mexico and in the US as far as the Conjunto Tejano genre goes. So very blessed. I just learned a lot by being around them.
The next time you put on your Conjunto jams,
people say, you still sell CDs? Yes, of course. We ship everywhere.
Remember its origins, cultures, storytelling, community, and instruments. That may help you realize we're one big conjunto in this world.
Oh yeah, welcome on to Bossman's.
Roma Villavicencio, KENS 5.
Americans have always had a fascination with cars. In the 40s, Hispanic veterans returning from World War II started a craze of low and slow that, to this day, is still going strong. Barry Davis takes us along for a cruise with San Antonio's Lowriders.
There aren't many things more American than the automobile. And the things we can do with them will drop more than your jaw.
We can see, like in Japan, there's a lowrider movement. And even in Monterrey, Mexico, there's a lowrider movement. And all the aesthetics of all of that are really informed by places like San Antonio or places like Los Angeles.
And there aren't many places where low and slow is more embraced than San Antonio.
I just love it. I love what I do. I love my job. I get paid for doing this now.
It's such a part of Hispanic culture, there's an entire industry built around building lowriders.
When I was a little kid, just a little boy, and from there, I started operating lowrider bikes. From lowrider bikes, now I build lowriders for a living, man. That's what I do.
Bazan Styles turned his passion into his profession.
I painted that one. I do a lot of lowriders. That's what I do. That's my job.
There are at least half a dozen lowrider clubs in San Antonio.
When it's time to get away from the world, get in the car.
Joe Guardiola loves the lowrider.
Gets the oil from the tank and it sends it through the hoses to the cylinders, and that's what moves the car.
His 63 Impala turns heads. Then when he pops the hood.
We go to a lot of the car shows, and most of the car shows you'll see like a LS swap, your big 350 engines and all that. And I was like, well, I want to do the same thing, but I want to do it different.
There's more chrome in here than in a Pilot truck stop parking lot. And the fact it's a 6-cylinder blows people away.
I knew it was different, but at the same time it looked smooth and it had the body shape with it.
Carlos Munoz has had several lowriders, but his 72 Monte Carlo is his favorite so far. Like the others, lowriders have always been a part of his life.
In high school, I would skateboard a lot, and we'd be out in the streets, and we'd see all these nice lowriders, and then our friends they'd start building their cars, and we just wanted to do the same thing.
These cars are tricked out with amazing hydraulics that can lift or lower the car in any direction you can imagine.
Just tap it, tap it. That's the front, tap it. Just tap it. One, okay, right there. Locked up, now hit the back. Tap it. Oh, I see. Tap it, right there. Now drop it.
This is what most people think when they see a lowrider, but they're more than hydraulics, shiny wheels, and tricked out interiors.
She kissed me, the last kiss.
Yeah.
And that day, I feel that kiss. And about the next day, she got killed.
Many have become much more personal. There are intricate paint jobs dedicated to loved ones who have passed, or experiences they've had, or maybe even family history.
When it becomes your car, now it's your hieroglyph. Now you're telling the story, and if someone finds that car, they're going to be able to know something about you.
I have a 68 Impala Fastback.
Mary Alice Carranza is one of the ladies de lowriders. She has 3 cars, and she's not riding shotgun.
Now I cruise with him. I'm not going to be the passenger, I'm going to be the driver.
Her 65 Impala looks like it just rolled off the showroom floor. The 72, a little more estilo.
She's a head turner for everybody.
Geraldine Tejeda went old school. She loves her 37 Chevy, but in true Chicana style, it had to be dropped.
I like the way the stance looks low. The stance on it is just, it gives it that look, gives it that beauty.
Old, new, classic, or conversion, they're all beauties. They all tell a story.
Honestly, I'm gonna tear it all down, and next year I'm gonna tear it all down and do a whole frame off.
Some stories just never end. Others know exactly where they want to go.
You can't really if you start looking at, well, how much is this gonna cost? Don't do it.
If you do, just remember, do it low and slow. On the south side, Barry Davis, KENS 5.
Here's how the city of San Antonio is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. The city's Department of Arts and Culture and the 16 de Septiembre Commission is hosting several events. From Millennial Loteria to a salsa cook-off, there's something for everyone to enjoy and honor San Antonio's strong connection to Mexico.
We are celebrating Mexican independence, but we're also celebrating our culture, our connection, our community, the fact that we have tons of residents from all over that, you know, some are dreamers so they can't go back home, but we can celebrate them here, and they can understand how important their contribution is to this great nation and what they bring to the community and to the city.
We have a full calendar of San Antonio area Hispanic Heritage Month events available now at kens5.com. Thanks for watching.